How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to Table Takes. We've got so much board game news for you folks today. We've got announcements, we've got new releases, we've got headlines from Gen Con TV to WotC. But first, I really want you to meet our lovely guests here. And it looks like we have a very special appearance from Dee Shaplow. Now, Dee, hello, welcome. How are you? It's so good to see you again.
I am well. It's fun to be back on Gen Con TV.
Yes, yes. Now you've actually been on Gen Con TV before, isn't that correct?
Yes, I did a table takes back in 2018.
Oh my, I can't even remember that far back. Yeah, and you also did a new release rundown, and you and I used to work together actually. Well, in proximity, I suppose,
Yes.
at Card Kingdom. So it's so great
Yes.
to see you. How have you been this week?
I'm well. My dog wanted to say hello, obviously. It's been a fun week. My D&D group officially TPK'd in our first session, so it's all new characters for session 2. Very exciting stuff. But I think that might tie into something we're talking about a little later, so I'll dig into that in the future.
Ooh, okay, no spoilers. We will just keep our eyes peeled for more news from you. And let's check in with our other hosts as well. Noir Enigma. Ooh, what have you been up to this week?
Not too terribly much, taking care of responsibilities, dealing with car stuff, which is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Note the sarcasm. Uh, I'm getting a bunch of stuff back from an old place I used to live, and what I got back two things this week. I got back my Batman cowl, which you can see a little bit in the back, but more importantly, I got my sonic screwdriver back, so I'm very happy because
Oh, okay.
I'm the doctor.
Okay, you're gonna be mad. I saw you holding that earlier, and I straight up thought that was a lightsaber. Please forgive me.
Uh, that that's fine. No, this is a lightsaber.
There we go. That's the one.
And, and just in case you're worried, this is a phaser.
Oh my
I
god.
can do this all day. Hey, check
Okay,
it out.
well,
I turned it off by twisting it. I programmed it to do that.
it sounds like you've been having a great week. I'm very happy to see that, Noah. Thank you for joining us once again. I have been up to a lot this week. I just started a new job doing more reception, watching people come into our massage clinic and then greeting them, just learning the ropes as it goes. I've been enjoying it so far. The commute's not too bad, so that's going super well. But I also got a new game in the mail. And you know how much I love showing you guys the Kickstarters that show up every month or so. Um, so this one is blared out. It's called Cool, Cool, Cool. We actually talked about this on stream once, and I can't talk about a Kickstarter and not back it. So it's basically like a slapjack game where you play a card and you say cool or wicked or sick or whatever the card says. And then you're like watching out for these special rules that are played out at the beginning of the game, like any pairs that show up. If you have a panini of cards, which is like one card followed by a different card followed by the same card that happened earlier, you make a little panini of cards, right? You have to slap down on top of it and you get to collect all the cards. But if you mess up, you're out for a round. And it's really fun. And you end up slapping each other, which is even more fun. And yes, Bonsai, it is basically just taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza with different rules. I like to think that the designers worked really hard on this and they did a lot of research, and it's a really cool game. So I'm really happy with it. And I've been playing it this week. Very cool stuff. Let's see, who else do we have? Oh, Bonsai. Hi, Bonsai. Now, you told me that you have a very special announcement for us. So please tell us, what is this big news?
Well, if you guys didn't know, guess what? It's somebody's birthday this Wednesday. I wonder who
Oh,
it could be.
no.
It's Javion. Ready? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to
to
you.
Happy
Happy birthday, dear Javion. Happy birthday to you. And it's your last. No,
What?
Sorry, no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Blow the candle. Javion, do it. There you go. Oh!
Thank you, Bonsai. Thank you, everybody. That was very lovely. I appreciate it. A part of me thought oh, maybe they won't like do to me what I've done to them every single time. But thank you. I appreciate it. Yo, I love you so much. I'm 28 for anybody who's okay. Let's get into this board game news, shall we? We've got so much to cover. Um, First headline that we have up here today is actually a Gen Con TV announcement. Right after TableTakes today, we are going to be playing our very first session of the Monster of the Week campaign that has been in development for months. Now, you may recall that we actually did play Monster of the Week once before as a little one shot, but this time we're giving it the full campaign treatment. That's right. There's going to be adventure, there's going to be secrets, and there's going to be plenty of monster slaying. So I'm very, very excited to see what y'all are going to do in this campaign coming up right after TableTakes. What are you guys expecting? What are you thinking? What's your style? What's your theme going to be for your monster hunting party? It's you and Bonsai and Noir are going to be.
I would say to theme, we have to choose one person that we're just going to utterly destroy their life for no reason, just because we could. I think we have to do that. And then obviously we have to kill Marcus at least
Exactly.
once.
Yes.
At least once. Yeah.
Yes.
At least once.
Marcus must die.
Yes, Marcus was given a very special character where it's actually baked in to the playbook, so it's gonna be real fun killing Marcus for the umpteenth time, as is the tradition.
As is tradition.
Degrees.
All right, well let's roll into our next headline here. Bonsai has a special announcement for tomorrow.
Yes, if you guys are excited, this is a very exciting thing. Studio Night Marathon starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You guys, have you heard of maybe this beautiful artist named Tanel Lovett? Well, we're gonna be having a collection of all of their art videos from across the many various Gen Con TV streams, all compiled into one mega list of videos. So if you guys want to just watch like basically relaxing kind of like lo-fi, but this is going to be a lo-fi Tanel Lovett drawings, and you want that in your background just to soothe you as you see the miraculous strokes of all the artwork. You want to watch that, go ahead and tune in tomorrow. It is starting at 9 a.m. and going for the whole day, and I just say it's probably just something really nice and relaxing to put on, especially if you have to go ahead and you have multiple screens like me and you got to do work, and then you can just look at them in the corner and be like, oh, beautiful. And then go. But
This is great.
Save the date. Yeah.
This is great. Yeah. So if there's any like episodes that I missed out on, I'll be able to watch them all at once. We'll just binge a whole day of just watching Tanel draw. This is going to be great. I can't wait. All right, let's hop into our next headline here. Noir, why don't you take it away? We got some news about a summit coming up.
I would love to. So, are you a up-and-coming game designer or looking to get into marketing for tabletop? Well, get expert crowdfunding, game design, manufacturing, and market advice from industry pros at next week's Tabletop Creator Summit. That's right, the Creator Summit for 2023 is going to be Dicebreaker's first event for members of the tabletop industry, and it's only a week away. The Tabletop Creator Summit is a free one-day event taking place on Friday, May 26th in London's Excel during the MCM Comic-Con. All attendees will receive a free priority badge for MCM in order to attend the summit, along with a free premium die provided by headline sponsor Misty Mountain Gaming. The morning will include a series of talks from industry experts on topics including crowdfunding, game design, manufacturing, marketing, and PR, giving tabletop creators of every size and experience level insight into making their next game a success. The first talk is at 10:30, and they'll see backer kits Martin Poole giving essential advice on how to make your crowdfunding campaign a success. Drawing on years of crowdfunding experience at major crowdfunding platforms, BackerKit and GameFound, Poole will provide expert tips on ensuring your next project smashes its target. At 11:30, Panda Gaming Manufacturing's Tyler Lipchin will discuss how tabletop creators can design their games with manufacturing in mind. Panda is a veteran manufacturer behind massive success stories such as Pandemic, Wingspan, Scythe, Gloomhaven, and more. Lipchin will dive into how creators can design to optimize player UI, as well as providing insight on manufacturing processes and cost. Tabletop Creators Summit attendees will also be able to pick up two of Panda's recent toolkits, including components that demonstrate various manufacturing treatments, as well as being suitable for using in prototypes. At the entrance of the event, of course, it is free. And finally, from 12:30, Osprey Games head of marketing Emily Mead will share her wealth of experience handling marketing and PR for the prolific publisher of board games such as Undaunted and Wildlands. RPGs including those Dark Places and Jackals and miniatures war games such as Frostgrave and Stargrave. Meets Talk Get Your Game Notice will provide valuable advice for tabletop creators on using marketing and PR to break through the crowd of competing releases and reach the largest, most engaged audience possible. So these are just some of the events that you can expect at this Tabletop Summit event. I think it's going to be a pretty good one, and we all can learn a little bit about marketing and PR, because if you've watched the show long enough, you can tell that a lot of the snafus are from folks saying things they shouldn't have said, or maybe needing to recheck a document before they bring it out to the public. So this is just a great way to be more insightful as to what you attach to your brand, your product, and your games. I think this is something that we should all be a little vested into, and I'm a little jealous that I'm not in London right now to enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't have much reason to go to London before. I mean, I know it's like a nice place. I didn't know they even had a Comic Con actually, so this is just news to me. But yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as you were talking about like what we can learn from like the marketing side of making a game, we've seen crowdfunders that like make promises that they couldn't keep. And I'm not naming any names, but there's a certain Kickstarter that I lost $150 on recently that maybe could benefit from learning a thing or two like this.
That's
But
tasty.
Yeah, this is going to be really cool. It's going to be next week, you said? Yeah.
Next week, Friday, the 26th.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I hope all the people that attend there take lots of pictures and have a lot of swag to collect, and let us know if we should attend next time it happens. Hopefully it becomes a thing that happens next year as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, great job, Dicebreaker. Thank you so much for putting something on like this. Let's toss it on over to Dee for your first headline here for today. What do you have for us?
Yes, I am so excited to talk about Days of Wonder's new Ticket to Ride game. I'm obsessed with Ticket to Ride. I feel like it's so many people's intro to the board gaming community. It breaks down that wall. And this one, if you are familiar with Ticket to Ride, a lot of the things they're putting out are expansions. They're just new maps where you have to have the core game. But this new game, Ticket to Ride Berlin, is not like that. It is the whole game in one box. You can pick it up and go. I won't torture you all by trying to pronounce any of the neighborhood names within the Berlin map, but it is a blast. You have the opportunity to build subways, and you can build streetcars, so you're not just limited to the trains, and it's true to the transportation that you would actually see if you went there. So I'm super excited about it. And for anyone with littles in the house, I truly think, looking at this game, that it is a really good in-between for My First Journey, the 6 and up version, and base Ticket to Ride. It has those larger pieces, larger areas on the board. It's simplified in terms of where the destination cards are. So I think it's a really, really good kind of in between for anybody trying to grow the game collection for a family as well. So super excited for the new Ticket to Ride Berlin.
You know, Dee, if you ever decide to make a train in Berlin or own one, you should definitely name it Die Chapleau.
Just name it after myself.
Because DIE is German for the, and your name's D, so.
See, that's how much German I know. No German. I didn't even get the joke. I was like, oh yeah, I'd name it after myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for our Berlin fans out there watching from Germany. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, I love Germany. I've always wanted to go. I love the language, and I was learning it all throughout the quarantine when it was going on. And Ticket to Ride is a great way to learn about places that you've never been to before, or maybe you're thinking about going. And it's just like a fun game in general. So yeah, this is awesome. All right. Well, I think that's all for this headline. We're gonna roll right into our next one, and it's a doozy. So that's why I'm gonna pass it on over to Bonza.
Ah, yes, thank you. Hello, and also thank you to Chase Carter from Dicebreakers for bringing us this article. So what has been on the word lately is that WotC just released the results of their Druid and Paladin playtest. Now let's cut to see what Noir's face looks like, so I can go ahead and describe all the things. Alrighty, so to go more into this, a little bit ago, WotC released the D&D 1 playtest rules for Druid and Paladin specific, and they ran a survey to get feedback on their suggestions and the changes. In general, the changes to the Paladin were well received.
Were
Uh,
they? Because I didn't receive it well at all.
I know, that's like, let me get through this first.
Sorry.
Folks like that you can now smite with your fist.
What's a turn? Sorry.
And so if you want to make a monk / paladin, you can, for instance, do it now. You can smite with your fist. And some
What's
folks,
a turn?
What's a turn? And some folks even let you smite with ranged weapons. Now,
No,
what did you
WotC
think?
doesn't want us to do that. Because
Oh, yeah.
WotC doesn't want me to have fun.
Well, you want to know why? Here, this is why I got this ready. Because I'm thinking the reason why they're not going to allow you to smite from a distance is because it's going to be a subclass that you're going to have to sign your character in.
Then
Only
they should let us know that.
Well, that's what
And
I'm saying,
I
that's
already
what they
wrote
do.
that subclass. It's in the Neverland book right now. I can go get it. I wrote that. I'm sorry.
But yes, if you guys can't tell, this is what happened over this weekend. A lot of people had opinions, and they let
This is
WotC know.
ridiculous.
But yes, no. Other thing that actually made a lot of people, so you got a little taste of the Paladin. Can you imagine what people were saying about the Druid? Well, the Druid had basically the Druid was on fire. It was on fire. A lot of people had a lot of opinions. Either you super loved it, or you super hated it and wished it never ever existed. One of the, of course, with this, it specifically delve in with wild shape and the problems with wild shape people have with druids and shapeshifting into wild animals. The most common complaint about it was that wild shape was being able to turn into basically any animal that you could have in the book, over hundreds of choices to figure out which one is just right and understand. And so for some people who like to min-max, they go through, and it seems like a lot of charts to keep track of in terms of what animal can you change to make it like the best for your buck. That one's just too complicated for a lot of people. Some folks have suggested, instead of letting them choose any animal, just to choose a template. For example, like a water like, you can turn into a water type, a strong type, or something like that, and then just give it a skin of what you would like. But yes, so like I said, they're gonna rework the Druid because so many people had very strong opinions. Maybe even the Paladin as well.
Rework the Paladin right now. Give me my smite back. It's already a limited resource. It costs me a spell slot. So I have to spend a spell slot, but I can only do it once a turn? Get out of here.
What's his turn? No, it's okay. But yes, please don't forget to submit your feedback, because WotC does want to hear it. That's all.
I sent a strongly worded letter.
Well, Bonsai, thank you for letting us know all about this new Unearthed Arcana stuff. I'm glad to see that we're getting steady results
They
coming
need to
up.
re-earth the Paladin. I don't like it.
And you two at home can let WotC know how you feel. Just click the link in the chat below if you want to go visit this article, and make sure you let WotC know how you feel about the changes that they're making.
Save our Paladins. Save our smites.
And a quick thank you to Chase Carter of Dicebreaker for helping us with this article. Now, let's roll on into some less, how do you say, conflicting news about a new release that Games Workshop has announced, and we're gonna throw it on over to D.
Hello, hello. So yeah, I want to talk about the new Warhammer drop. The big thing that's coming out right now is the new Underworlds 2-player starter set. If you are not familiar with Warhammer or Underworlds at all, the big thing is there's Warhammer 40K, kind of your big space-themed armies, and then we have Age of Sigmar's, very close to the old fantasy style sculpts that you would get. Everything is a little bit more niche, kind of horror-y. And if you are a fan of that type of sculpt, the Age of Sigmar type of sculpt, Underworlds is a really good way to be able to get in a Warhammer game and have it not last 4+ hours. It is basically the in-between of a board game and a war game, where you have a board in front of you, you have your hex tiles, so your movement is based off of the type of character you have, not based off of your rolls, and you play cards to be able to make attacks or fulfill different objectives that you want to meet. And the thing I'm really excited about is the 2 armies that they have in this box. It's the Farstrider Fighters and the Sepulchral Guard. And if you haven't painted minis before, these are so detailed, so fun, that it's a perfect way to sit down, maybe introduce somebody to Warhammer, and be able to have them paint a not super large, intimidating army that is still really fun and interesting for them. And since it's a starter set, they're balanced against each other. You're going to be able to jump in, play a game, and know that one person isn't going to be super overpowered. You're not fighting a paladin. Just to throw some
not overpowered anymore with our 1-turn smite ability. Why don't we take away key points from monks too? This is madness! Madness!
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
So
Good.
But yeah, that's the big exciting thing right now. It is not out yet, but keep your eyes peeled because it is going to start dropping in stores and online soon.
Well, Deep, you are pretty experienced with Warhammer. Is that fair to say?
I'm a big Warhammer player. Yeah, I've been playing for about 10 years.
Oh my. Okay, well that's much longer than I've been playing. I think the first time I played was maybe 4 years ago, maybe the only time. And I only played like Kill Team, I think. That's still a thing, right?
Yeah, it is. And Kill Team is very, very similar, where it's that smaller style game, but more of the 40K style sculpts. So they're kind of starting to create these quicker to play versions of the games that are attracting a newer crowd. So it's really fun. Like I'm glad you played Kill Team. That was a really, really cool box that came out, and they've expanded on it a ton.
Yeah, I was just gonna say actually, to your point, it from the images that we have on the article from ICV2 here, it looks small. Like from when I played it, it was just all this mayhem on a huge table, way bigger than anyone that I've ever seen or eaten on. But this one looks like a board game. Like I could just like fit this on my table here at home. So
Absolutely. Honestly,
love
I
how
should have
compact
pulled
it
my
is.
old copy out of the single set for Underworlds. Comes in a small board game size box, flips out to a board game size board, and they're double-sided, so you have different maps you can play on, depending on what style of game you're feeling that day. So it's super manageable, super small scale.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dee. And for folks at home, check out the link in chat if you want to check out some of the gallery images from ICV2 on this link here. It definitely looks like something entry level, which is perfect for me. All right. Let's talk about something a little bit less entry level. Let's talk about expansions. Noir?
Ares Games announced its first War of the Ring expansion. The first expansion for the War of the Ring, the card game, is going to hit retail stores September 2023. The new expansion, designed by Ian Brody, will feature all new shadow cards adapted to use with a simple flowchart. This will allow players to command the Free People faction against the Shadow Bots. It will expand the base game to include solo mode and cooperative play for up to 2 players. In these modes, the Shadow factions are controlled by special decks of cards included in the expansion. Again, the expansion will be first demoed at UK Games Expo 2023 on June 2nd to June 4th, 2023. Ares Games released War of the Ring, the card game, back in 2022. It's nice to see It's nice to see a brand give the people what they want and more options. People got the War of the Ring game, and then they give them more. Unlike other brands, which want to take away things from us. I don't know, like the ability to smite each time we attack instead of once per turn. Who would do something like that? That's madness. But that's my take on the story. How do we all feel about companies giving people what they want? It's good, right? We
I have
like
a lot
that.
of sodium today. There's a lot of sodium intake I'm getting
It's
today.
coming from me. I'm radiating a salty aura.
I myself have not actually played War of the Ring. I do know that it's been pretty popular. I've seen a lot of Lord of the Rings like content come and go. I know that there was a different LCG for Lord of the Rings, and when War of the Ring came out, there was a lot of speculation about how well it's going to do. And I think this looks like a really cool expansion, something people who are fans of the genre can definitely get excited about. And you said it's coming out in September, which means we don't have to wait super long for it either.
Yeah,
It's
it's
cool.
very quick.
Yeah.
I will mention this, like Lord of the Rings have just basically this whole year has been for people who are fans. You could get board games, you can get like magic cards, you can get a lot of stuff that is Lord of the Rings themed.
Mhm.
And that's just, good for the IP address, that's all.
Yeah, I just put Gandalf in my spell copy deck for Magic. He's broken. He is not fair.
But did you get the One Ring to rule them all?
No, but there's rumors that there's a certain Magic fan that has $1 million bounty on the One Ring.
It's $1 million and 3 crypto. I'm watching.
Oh, 3 crypto.
Okay.
So
I'm on the threads. I'm like, okay.
My plan is to buy a couple. My plan is to buy a couple of those boxes. If should I acquire the One Ring, I'm gonna do a live stream where I burn it live.
Thank you. That's what
Throw
I'm
it in the
saying.
volcano.
Goes in the volcano.
It goes in the volcano.
Volcano.
That makes more sense. I thought you
Whoever
were just
receives
doing
the
that to
card.
piss people off.
Well, I mean, I get to do both. I get to live the canon, and I get to get the entire Magic community upset with me.
All in one go.
Well-
I truly believe the point of Magic is to make as many people as salty as possible at one time. And so if I do this, I will have won all of Magic.
Yeah, but you can only smite once, though.
You don't want Bonsai! I was just beginning to forget!
Well, speaking of games that make people upset, folks, for our final headline of this segment, there is a big announcement from the French Netflix social media account that has to do with a game we all know you've heard of. It's called Werewolf, or more specifically, The Werewolves of Miller's Hollow. And in French, that would be Les Loups-garous de Tercelieu, which is Werewolf of Miller's Hollow.
Fancy.
So Netflix has decided to get in on this board game movie craze and is going to adapt the social deduction game into a movie, apparently. Now, there's no details, and I mean 0 details. They literally just posted a picture of the game's like cover on their page, and literally only on the French Netflix page too on Twitter. None of the other English or otherwise Twitter pages or social media pages have posted anything about this announcement as of yet. And this article that we are getting from Christian Hoffer with comicbook.com, thank you very much, was actually posted last week. And still nothing. So we are left to speculate. But for folks who, I guess for the 2 or 3 people in the world who maybe have been living under a rock, have never played Werewolf, maybe you've heard of Mafia, but basically it's literally just a game where you have no information at the start and somebody's dead and you have to start pointing fingers and accusing people of killing each other and being bad people. And then eventually everybody ends the game having either died or falsely accused somebody and getting them executed. So seeing that in a movie, oh yeah, I can totally see the mayhem and nonsense that would come across from a lot of people, just spouting completely baseless accusations at one another. And who even knows what the plot of a movie like this is going to be? Does Miller's Hollow have lore? Is there something about the naming of the game that like they decided to come up with some backstory for this place that I've never heard of? I mean, I've heard of Ultimate Werewolf and things like that. Maybe they'll dip into some of the legacy games that have happened. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna leave it to y'all to speculate on what you think this movie is going to be like. I'm just happy to see that board games are getting movies and TV series now because D&D went so well. I think people are really going to hop on board, and we're going to see a lot more, which is a good.
Yeah, definitely. When the board game community gives us, we rise, all boats rise. Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, think about it. Do you remember the Clue movie with
Oh,
Tim
yes.
Oh
Burton?
yeah.
We
so
love
good.
that movie.
To
Will they
this
have-
day, one of
I
my
wonder-
favorite movies, and they're remaking it now.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're remaking Clue. There's a Terraforming Mars /
They
Terra
shouldn't.
Mystica movie coming. Yeah,
Yep.
they're not related. There's not going to be like Terraforming Mars and Terra Mystica somehow like
That would
mashed
be
together, but
Yeah.
completely separate from one another. We're getting some more board game content on the big screen. So
You
yay.
know what? Feed me, film industry. I am hungry. I need this. I am ready.
Folks, that's going to do it for our headlines today. But wait, it's our favorite segment, led by the only bundle boss we need, Noir Enigma.
I shall be the bundle king.
Oh.
And now we begin. I've been pretty angry, so I'm going to talk about something that makes me quite happy. Today we're talking about the Humble Bundle Starfinder Solidarity Bundle. Gather up your starting crew and journey into the storied Starfinder tabletop role-playing game with this bundle of books and digital resources. Start playing today with the digital beginner box, essential rule books, and supplemental manuals. Discover the 6-party fly free or die adventure path and more one-offs and scenarios. Bring your voyage to life with a collection of digital maps, pawns, and more PDF resources. Plus, get the hardcover Alien Archive and Physical Crit Hit deck. Shipping is not included. Launch into a galaxy of adventure from Paizo and help support the Trevor Project with your purchase. Right now, you can get 29 items for $45, which is a good deal any way you shake it. But to get serious for a moment here, the Trevor Project is something that is very important, especially right now. Not to get political, but the LGBTQ plus community is under a substantial attack, in everything that we can do to help our queer brothers and sisters, we should do. And this is a way to do that while also enabling your vicious TTRPG addiction. If you're watching this show, we understand, we have it too. So do something good for the community and do something good for yourself. Help out our LGBTQA plus brothers and sisters and adventure in space. You won't regret it, and you'll be doing a lot of good people a great service. So check it out, help out, and then after you do that, send Watsy a letter so we can smite twice again. I refuse to allow this to stand. That is my time as your bundle king.
Thank you very much, Noir. Just a real quick thing. Starfinder, that is related to Pathfinder, correct? It's basically just Pathfinder in space. Is that
so? A little bit. Pathfinder 2.0 ventures far away from the original Pathfinder 1.0. Starfinder is kinda in the middle, so it's still a little bit crunchier than Pathfinder 2. But it's set in space. It's pretty awesome. I haven't personally played it myself. My partner has, and they've been having a blast with it. So I'm looking forward to jumping into it. And this is the perfect way for me to get into it. And it's the perfect way for you to get into it as well. So $45 gets you everything that you're going to need to start. The player's handbook, the not monster manual, but alien manual, vehicles, all that good stuff. And you can start telling your story. And I'm sure there's an ability here that allows you to expend a spell slot to deal extra damage as many times as you can attack, because that would only be reasonable.
Well, thank you for the bundling of Starfinder. We are excited to help the Trevor Project in any way we can. But that's just going to lead us into our next segment here, and it's Crowdfunder Court. Today, we don't have a lot of time, so we only have one Kickstarter for you. But it's a big one. It is the second edition of Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated. This time, magic gets dark. It's Darkest Magic. It's the beloved Clank Legacy returning with an epic sequel. You get the same co-op and competitive, so both competitive and co-op play of the Legacy game in the world of Penny Arcade's Acquisitions Inc. I'm a big fan of Acquisitions Inc. myself. They've made a lot of content on D&D, and they partnered up with the folks at Dire Wolf in order to make this Legacy game. There was already one edition that was hugely popular, and this one is no different. It's already hit its goal of $100,000 sixfold. It's up to 675K already and counting as we speak. So for folks who maybe don't know or haven't played Clank before, basically it's a big dungeon crawl where you're playing a deck building game and using the cards to move these little miniatures, these heroes, around the dungeon, slaying monsters, picking up new cards and influence and coins and loot and other things that you'll add into your deck, shuffle them up, and then keep drawing in order to sort of collect as much as you can before the big dragon kills you. However, in this legacy version, your actions over several games will decide how the game is impacted permanently in the future. So if you want to support a really cool company, Acquisitions Inc., or if you are excited about a humorous sort of working office style D&D campaign or anything like that, this legacy expansion is perfect for you. It comes in its own standalone way, so you don't have to buy the first legacy game if you don't want to, but they do tie in together if you already own the first one. Or if you're curious, you can just get the big bundle of $179 to get you everything all at once. It's hugely successful and popular, and I was super excited to shout it out today. It's got 7 days to go, so check out the link in Twitch chat if you want to take a look at this crowdfunder we have here. Okay, folks, that's going to do it for our segments. We have one final big segment for you. It's an interview with none other than Lila Ross and Adam Davis of Gamers Engaged, Game to Grow, and the Gauntlet 2023. We have a quick, short little trailer that we want you to watch. So check out this commercial, and then we're going to get right into the interview.
I'm Lila Ross. I'm the founder and executive director of Gamers Engaged. Gamers have a unique perspective on solving society's most difficult problems because we have this beautiful lens of play. We want to revolutionize the way the games industry engages with philanthropy. Gamers are generous, they're interested in what's going on in the world, and we want to provide them with high impact opportunities to give back to their community. We're going to continue growing our corporate network of well-known game industry companies. We will continue to work with Magic Kids in their endeavor to bring magic to after-school clubs across the US. And I'm really excited because we're about to embark on our 9th annual board game charity tournament called the Gauntlet to highlight one of our other nonprofit partners, Game to Grow.
Welcome to TableTakes, Lila Ross and Adam Davis. We are so excited to have you today. We have so many questions. You're here with Gamers Engaged, Game to Grow, and the Gauntlet 2023. How are you folks doing? How are you doing? Can you introduce yourselves? A lot of people may not know who you are.
Sure, I can go first. I actually can't see Adam right now because I have a silly view on. So hope I'm not stepping over his toes. Yeah, so my name is Lila Ross, and I run the nonprofit Gamers Engaged, and we are the hosts of the Gauntlet Fables, and this is our 9th annual board game charity tournament. So I'll tell you all about that. But our beneficiary this year is Game to Grow. So I will let Adam introduce himself.
So my name is Adam Davis. I'm a founder and executive director of the nonprofit organization Game to Grow. We are based out of Seattle, where I'm zooming in from right now, but we actually have participants from all over the world. What we're most well known for is our use of games of all kinds, but most specifically tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons in therapeutic social flourishing groups. So we use games of all kinds to help people build confidence and connect with other people.
Now, folks, what do you think is important to you about Gamers Engaged? What is your passion for this project?
Yeah, so and I am also the executive director and founder of Gamers Engaged. We started out as the in-house giving arm of Card Kingdom and Mox Boarding House. So we started, yeah, that's right. We started building out what we thought would be a beautiful way for those businesses to connect with their community. I happen to be a clinical social worker myself, and so that helped to inform what types of community engagement we would be helping Card Kingdom and Mox build out. And then over the years, especially actually through the Gauntlet, we learned that the gaming community wanted more opportunities to give back. And so we expanded our influence, and we're now a 501c3 as well, helping to inform other game industry companies to do the same that Mox and Card Kingdom did. So the work that we're doing is important because we already know that gamers are extremely generous, and they just need a pathway to find these nonprofits that could use their help and their talent and treasure and time.
Yeah, big shout out to Mox Boarding House, Card Kingdom. Myself, I used to work there. We think we mentioned it earlier in the stream. Geisha Plo as well. And definitely that's where I heard about the Gauntlet for the first time. And there were people volunteering all the time. People were very excited about it all the time. And it was just it was a huge event. It's something to look forward to. I'm really glad to have you guys on, and we can talk more about it.
Thank you.
I'm going to pass it to my other co-hosts here.
Oh yeah, no, I had I know you just briefly touched on how the Gauntlet event started. How has it evolved since then?
Great
since,
question.
Your start.
Yeah, so actually it started in 2013 was our first Gauntlet event. It was actually something that we just put together in 8 weeks. I can't even believe that now, because now it takes a year to plan. But back then we had a lot of people that were within the games industry that were hanging out in Mox Boarding House, and they became friends and a part of our community. And we invited them to create 10 teams of 4, and we put on our first Gauntlet, which is an all-day gauntlet of games. We usually have card games, board games. We haven't done RPGs yet. That would be an interesting thing to try out. And so that was our first year. Our goal was 4,000. We ended up making over 25,000, almost 30,000. And so we're like, this is a thing, and we should do more of this. So the next year, when Mox Boarding House had a second location, it was much bigger. So we doubled the size of the event. And at that event, we raised money for, I believe it was Hope Link, and it was $90,000 that we were able to raise for that nonprofit. They're in the King County, Seattle area. So each year we have done bigger and more exciting things. We've had more engagement with the companies that are sending their employees to this event. And so that's how we've grown into year 9. And we try really hard to spend a good amount of time researching some nonprofits that could really benefit from our efforts, and also that really just deserve some shine. And so Game to Grow has been on my mind for years, and I'm really excited that this is their year.
It sounds awesome. It clearly it's done done very well. I'm curious, what makes the Gauntlet so special?
I let the participants tell me. They have told me over the years that the reason why it's so special is because the people that are in the room at the time are people within the games industry, many of them. We have some community teams, but almost everybody has a connection to the games industry. And those folks know each other. They cross paths at cons and such, but they're almost always doing work. So this is one of the only ways that gamers get to play their hobby. They actually get to play. They're not selling, they're playing, and their time and energy is going for a good cause. So that's what I've been told is special about the event.
Awesome. You mind if I ask, if I were to ask you directly what's special about it to you, what would your answer be?
Yes. I'm a social worker, so it brings me a lot of personal satisfaction and joy. I'm a crier, so I got to be careful not to cry right now.
I'm a crier, so I'd be right with you.
It brings me so much joy that it has become a thing that the games industry and people of the games industry have embraced. And to be honest, I was really worried when COVID hit whether we would be able to continue doing this. And it was hard, but I have to tell you, several people, including Dee, several people that have been in the event for years, they volunteered to be on a committee to help us, revamp this event post-COVID, and a lot of their ideas are what we're doing this year, including partnering with Gen Con, because you already have a beautiful audience of our people, and so we're working with you because of the feedback that we got from that committee.
Well, I know that we are interviewing you and you, Lila, and you, Adam, but Dee, we have you here as well, and we were wondering if you could just tell us what your relationship is to Gamers Engaged and Game to Grow in the Gauntlet.
Yeah. So like you said, I've also on the Gauntlet team. I was a part of that advisory board that Lila just referred to. So honestly, hearing you say that the first Gauntlet was planned in 8 weeks, I am having secondhand anxiety for something that happened 9 years ago. Yeah, I have done anything Lila has ever asked me to do for the Gauntlet because it really is for the community. And like she said, gamers are so selfless. We care about our community so much because without the community, we don't have games. So being able to make sure that the next generation of gamers get to play by working with these nonprofits that really focus on impacting as much as they can in a positive way the current and next generation of gamers is so important. So the last year and this year I am the host of the Gauntlet, so if you are not annoyed of me yet, you can tune in on Sunday and we will be running through everything that's happening that day and giving you really up close looks at what the Gauntlet looks like playing these games. We'll get to play games with you, the chat, like trivia, and there's lots of giveaways, auctions, just a ton of fun stuff. But I don't want to get too off track from that. I want to bring it back to why we're here this year for Game to Grow. So Lila, what made you reach out to Game to Grow or choose them as your beneficiary this year?
Well, like I said, I've actually been working with them for years. Both Adam Johns and Adam Davis are folks that I've crossed paths with because, again, remember my work with Gamers Engaged started with Card Kingdom, and because they're in our geographic area, they had asked if they could host a summer camp in our location, and that was when we first met. And ever since, I've been trying to find a way to highlight their work and sing their praises. And as a clinical social worker, therapeutic D&D is like, it's chef's kiss. It's such a great way to engage youth, and I really love their work.
Yeah, nothing relaxes me like D&D.
Right now.
I have a question for Adam then, specifically for Game to Grow. What made you decide to use D&D as this outlet for folks?
Honestly, it was kind of an accident to start off with. It was an accidental discovery. My background is in drama therapy. So I've already been someone who loved stories and helping people, build their social confidence through role play, through enactment. And so I was in graduate school and had an after school job. You got to work through grad school. So I had an after school position where I was helping some, kids who needed some social support. And it was a Dungeons and Dragons program. And I could see that this Dungeons and Dragons program was accessing youth in a way that they weren't being accessed any other way. And a lot of these youth wouldn't have either wanted to go or fit in a sports program or an arts program. And my favorite kids when I was a drama teacher were the kids who didn't want to be there, right? That were the misfits, the ones who didn't kind of fit in. And so all of a sudden I have a whole group of teens and adolescents who needed a place where they belonged, where they could be seen and celebrated for who they were and not told them there was something wrong with them. And so that was what this group provided. And so we could use tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons, I think it was 3.5 at the time, for those of you paying attention. And at the time I realized, right, drama therapy is systematic and intentional use of drama, games, and exercises for insight, growth, and change. Well, Dungeons and Dragons is sit-down drama therapy. I could just do role enactments. Now we've got randomizing agents and things like that. So that was when Adam Johns, the other founder of Game to Grow, and I really clicked that this is something we could really expand and grow upon. And then it just kind of caught wind, and we have 150 participants from all over the world in our virtual programs. Now we have participants in Australia, parts of Europe, parts of Asia, all zooming in to play D&D together. It's like a pen pal is what I had when I was in middle school, like from Chicago, and I thought that was wild, so far away. And now our participants get to save the world with people from around our world.
That's cool.
I do have to say there's a particular appreciation I have for that. My life was personally changed by a drama teacher. He got me into D&D, the nerd culture, introduced me to Buffy, and taught me that I could sing. So that's really cool, and it's really appreciated. I think that most drama nerds in particular have an English teacher or a drama teacher that really changed the course of their life. That being the case, Lila, I wanted to ask you, is there any correlation between your social work and your TTRPG hobby? And the same kind of goes for you too, Adam, with your experience in drama as therapy. You kind of already established how that bridged the gap for you, Adam, but I'm curious about how that bridged the gap for you, Lila.
Yeah, well, I happen to be connected to the games industry in a very intimate way. I happen to be married to founder of Card Kingdom. So that game world came into my life very deeply. And it's really interesting because my specialty is children, youth, and families, which is, again, the reason why I was so interested in Game to Grow's work. That is where my heart is. Those children, those kids are my interests as well. And as we were building out this program to connect with the community, I realized, and I think too, the gaming community and also the therapy world was realizing that through games, you can learn conflict resolution. You get to sometimes put on a new persona and try out different ways of communicating and moving through the world. And so to me, that is such a beautiful way to learn how to be in this 3D world. And yeah, so that's why I'm interested in all of that.
I think what you guys are doing is amazing, and I could just pick your brains and just ask you of all the moments that you've been able to help people, but we just don't have enough time. I think what is really important for me to know is if folks who are listening here want to get involved and this is something that they're excited about, how can they do that?
Well, for this weekend, they can watch our stream. You can either go straight to our fundraising page, which is gauntletofgames.org, or right here on Gen Con TV, and you will be plugged straight into our event. Either way, you'll have opportunities to donate, to participate in the conversation that's happening all day long with Dee and our other host, Mike Yoon. And then I'm going to give Adam an opportunity to share how you all can learn more about Game to Grow.
If you want to learn more about Game to Grow, you can visit gametogrow.org. There's a lot of resources there about the programming that we run. There's a couple of videos that have our youth participants talking about their own experience, which I think is really important, that it's not just me talking about the things that I see as a facilitator, but also the youth themselves are talking about how they grow through playing games. So check out gametogrow.org, join our newsletter, and check out the various things that we provide.
You heard them, folks. Check out those links in chat there, and we look forward to seeing what y'all do in the future. Thank you so much for coming on today. We've had so much fun talking to you and learning about all the programs that we can get involved with. We're going to have you stick around for just a little bit here, and as we say goodbye to all of our lovely viewers, all of our lovely Twitch chatters, and I just want to say thank you to all of our viewers today for showing up for yet another episode of TableTakes. But don't go anywhere. Right after TableTakes today, we've got TableTakes Game Night, a very special episode where we are going to be starting our Monster of the Week campaign. It is my favorite TTRPG. I am so excited. We have been working on this for months, and we have so much fun actually building these characters. Now we're actually going to put them in action. And right after that, on Saturday at 9 a.m., we've got the Studio Night Takeover. Are you missing the magic? Come on by for a full day of fantasy live drawing. Studio Night is going to take over the channel of Gen Con TV for a whole day, starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So catch up on all of the wonderful studio sessions with Tanel Lovett, our favorite illustrator here on Gen Con TV, and cross paths with pirates and witches and fae. Oh my! All right. On Sunday, May 21st, we have the Gauntlet 2023 at 11 a.m. 18s will gather at Mox Boarding House Game Store right in Bellevue, Washington, to compete in a contest of skill and chance to celebrate Gamers Engaged's 9th year of fundraising. The whole day is just a day of games and giving, and it will be live streamed for viewers to engage in as well. So for folks who don't know our streaming schedule, on Mondays, all of our times are PST at 9 a.m. We've got another episode of Peter versus the Machine, our very own Peter Atkinson playing board games against an AI. And at 4 p.m., we've got board games with the Brothers Murph. And as always, right after that at 6 p.m., we've got Dress to Quest. On Wednesdays at 6 p.m., we've got Actoroki Live. And on Thursdays, we've got 10 a.m., we've got Blood on the Clock Tower, followed by Roll with Rem Alternus at 4 p.m. And then you can join us back here next Friday for more TableTakes Game Night, and another episode of Sarah's Table. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us today. We've had a blast. Thank you to all of our viewers in chat, keeping us on our toes. And thank you to all of our lovely co-hosts, especially our special guest, Dee Chapleau. Thank you for joining us today. And a big thank you to Marcus Mays, our lovely producer, without whom we could not make this show happen. We love you, and we can't wait to kill you in Monster of the Week later. All right, remember, if you miss any of our programming, you can check out the VODs here on Twitch or on YouTube 24 hours later, so you never miss an episode. Or you can just follow us here on Gen Con TV for more of the best 4 days in gaming all year long. We will see you folks in just 30 minutes. Thank you so much for everybody for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.